Hey my friends, it's your friend Kevin here with today's Divine Daily Blast. I hope you're well, I hope you're thriving, I hope you're doing well. My sleep pattern this week has been all over the place. This morning I woke up wide awake, 1:53 in the morning, and it was so odd. I was watching a little bit of English television and sort of was spark out at 9, but I did manage to go back to sleep and then slept until 5:30 or 5 o'clock, which is really an hour and a half later than what I normally get up. It's just, I wonder what's going on. I wonder what's happening. They say that if you wake up in the middle of the night, you're meant to get up, journal, listen, hear it in the silence. I just think, okay, well, the sleep cycle's off. Anyway, I digress. Let's get with today's Divine Daily Blast and fill you in on what's going on. Angel numerology. Well, I'm going to start with the moon today. I think that's pretty where I need to start. The moon is in feisty, show-offy, fiery, lovely, bright, Leo. And the Gemini season begins. Happy Geminis. Confusion and deception will be swirling around you today, especially when it comes to love and abundance. Confusion and deception. Love and abundance. So be careful what you reveal and who you reveal it to. Now, some words like deception, deceit, manipulation, they're a little bit spiky. So I probably would suggest for all of you, so you don't go down that rabbit hole, you keep your vibration up, would likely be look at it as interesting, curious, I wonder why, and then let that go. Rather than being in that judgment corner of accusations. Moving on. Angel numerology number 9, day-to-day endings, releasing, humanitarianism, service, spiritual awakening, which we're all in, wisdom. More importantly, forgiveness and healing. The number calls for emotional and spiritual detoxing, which includes forgiving old wounds, unhealthy attachments, or limiting belief. If you're seeing the double 9, trust the process of old phases ending, and follow your intuition to the next journey. Now, each time we had add a 9 to it, like 999, that's a major life chapter closing, coming to an end. If you're in the wild position of seeing 4 9s in a row, like 99.99, that kind of thing, a price tag, then massive transformations, changes, they're being fully supported by divine forces as you enter a new spiritual chapter. Now, to deal with the ending of this cycle, if you're looking for a angelic team, call upon Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, and maybe pull the Empress card and the Hermit card from your tarot decks. I also feel like lift off. What are you waiting for? Let's go. Enough already. Let's get on with this. That's the kind of energy I feel like on a number 9 day. And for some odd reason in my mind, I keep thinking today is Friday. And I know it's not. Interesting. My isms. I am a beautiful soul on a cosmic journey, fully and completely supported and loved by the universe. Right here. This comes from our friend of the channel, Mary Sue. I am grateful and abundantly blessed. Totally. Easy. Simple. Grateful and abundantly blessed. Blessed with abundance can go in any direction you want it to go in, but you want to be able to feel it, believe it, achieve it, and go with it. Thank you, universe, for providing me more than plenty to nourish myself, my life, and help others. Love that. Lady Nada, expand your heart. Stop looking at it like life has got something on you. Stop looking at it like life is pushed against you, and open your heart to how wonderful it is. Openness, liberation, let yourself love and be loved. Lady Nada was the somewhat counterpart to the Master Jesus, divine feminine energy. And I love these colours. Lemon yellow, soft pale pink, and creamy white. Wonderful, wonderful colours. A message from Archangel Raziel. Now, I shuffled this card today. I pulled this card on Saturday. The colors match up. As the keeper of the secrets of the universe, I breathe life into your fondest dreams. There is no limit to what you can create with my help, my aid. Here's your affirmation. I dream, I believe, I receive, I achieve. Done. My opportunities for success are limitless. My opportunities for success are limitless. It's like that feeling of euphoria. That feeling that, ooh, I really just did get this. I really did just manifest this. Archangel Jeremiah, kind of a male counterpart to Archangel Haniel, works with our intuitive and our psychic abilities. Message here is, or the activation, I forgive the past and I give myself the respect I deserve. When you look at your past, and do you look at the things that light you up, that you achieve, that you have accomplished, or are you looking at it like, oh gosh, this is so terrible, I'm sorry this happened, oh my goodness gracious me? How do you look at the past events that you've experienced? I had a wonderful, lovely conversation with our friend of the channel yesterday. Joanna is so remarkable. She's moving on with her life, and I won't go into personal details, but we were discussing how even in the darkest, most challenging of experiences, when we don't get what we expect, we don't get what we bargained for, we don't get what we went in for, yet the lesson in what happens next, how we respond to it, how we relate to it, how we transform from those experiences is where the lessons are. For me personally, I had to go through some rather challenging interpersonal romantic relationships for me to really see the best relationship I could ever have is with myself. And then when I realized that, I kind of like who I am. I sort of like this. I kind of like how the universe just keeps me going on my own. I like how, even though it is a challenge and a struggle because sometimes the income doesn't match the expenses, I'm still doing it. I'm still twirling. I'm still whirling. I'm still here every day bringing you this because it really does lift me up. Moving on. Louise Hay today says, I now create a wonderful new relationship instead of isolating myself. I choose to open up and let in the love. And here we got two gorgeous giraffes. Maybe it is a mother and a calf. Just filled with love. And my friends, while it may seem that the world doesn't have the love, the world doesn't feel like, well, if you watch the news, it doesn't. Because let's face it, at least here in the United States, I don't know where you are in the world listening to this, but when I was watching the national news, I was quite eventually surprised by how here you have maybe 30, 40 seconds of news. Here are the headlines, blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, blah, and then whoosh, we go into some kind of pharmaceutical product that we have to take. That then at the end of it says, may cause this, that, and the other thing, and you could die. And then here goes another little bit of news, blah, de, 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 whoosh, and another one. If you're suffering from these symptoms, bubbity boobity boobity doody 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 da di da, mental health la di da, take this. But it might cause all these problems. And on it goes again. And so for about, I don't know, 20 something minutes of in and out, devastating news, and then some kind of product that you've got to tell your doctor to get you, or you got to say, oh, I've got to rush out and go get some of that. And then the very last minute or so, you get a little bit of a bright story. No accident that they do that. No accident that they send you down the rabbit hole of mental madness, having you feel terrible about all the things that are going on. And then whoosh, look what happened. This person washed their clothes and they came out brighter than they've ever come out before. Goodness gracious me. I digress. Trying to bring you a bit of humor in this day. Hopefully you'll see it. Hopefully you get to see the ridiculousness of what we're being fed. Yes. Talking to AI. Yes, it's fabulous. Anyway, the tarot card for today, as I'm holding it, looks like the Pope. It's actually number 5 in the Major Arcana deck, and it is the Hierophant. Now, the Emperor, because I always get these two mixed up. The Emperor and the Hierophant, to me, are like brothers. And while the Hierophant, while the Emperor provides structure in the practical and the organizational realms of the universe, the Hierophant supplies the same kind of structure, except it's more spiritual, more philosophical. So the Hierophant can also be compared to the High Priestess. Hierophant is a Greek word meaning priest, which is why it's shown here as a pope. And in ancient Greece, the Hierophant was the chief priest of the Eleusinian mysteries. I think it's the Eleusinian mysteries, although they get it mixed up and call it ministries. It's an initiatory cult, if you will. The High Priestess was also an official in the same cult, part of the hierarchy, if you will. And it's an interesting fact that the two were considered equal rank, the High Priestess and the Hierophant. Think of nuns and priests, that kind of thing. Today's tarot, the Hierophant is often interpreted as an embodiment of the exoteric, which is public, religion, namely the Roman Catholic Church. And while the High Priestess represents the esoteric, which is private, exoteric, public, esoteric, private, the spiritual side of Wicca, which was really the early form of religion. Wiccan religion used plants and biology and the nature and the moon cycles. And those who practiced it were considered high priestesses. Then they were run out, burned at stakes, because the patriarchal system said, oh no, you can't have that much power. So in this mystic tarot, it shows a Wiccan or a pagan high priest by all of these symbols. And the High Priestess represents, by the Catholic Church leader, the Pope, if we want to be specific, serves as a symbol. And then we think of the Hierophant as indicating an approach based on intellectual discourse and tradition and dogma, while the High Priestess might represent a more personal and intuitive approach. You get it? What we must do publicly, what we show the world, and what we need to do spiritually, internally, for ourselves. And when we're dealing with symbolism, there's always a danger of falling into oversimplification and stereotyping. Because in real life, both religions, Wiccan and Catholicism, encompass a vast variety of human experiences, and it would be just as valid to see religions indicated on the two cards merely as a suggestive example, rather than carrying an analogy into anything other than being useful. We need to use these cards as a useful tool. So in this particular card, the Hierophant stands in front of a stained glass window that depicts the emblem of papacy. This emblem comprises of the keys to heaven, the triple tiara, the Pope's power of fathers and kings and governors of the world as a vicar, and then the Pallium, what he's wearing. A vestment worn by the Pope and certain other Catholic Church officials, comprising of a narrow white band with 6 black crosses on it. And then a cord that binds the keys together, right up in here somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, right there. Whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. So interesting. Got doves in here representing the Holy Spirit. One of them carries a Hebrew letter. The Hierophant's 3-tiered crown and the white vestments. 1, 2, 3, and all this white stuff going on. So this is all about spiritual authority and tradition. And people who embody the Hierophants and the High Priestess's energy, such as spiritual counselors or trusted family members, that's who we go to. Now, if you're looking for, if this were in some decks inverted upside down, or the shadow side of this card, it's like pressure to conform to traditions, ideologies, and religious dogma. So if I'm looking at all of this together, and I bring in this tarot card, I'm going to say sometimes your strong belief systems from the past, sometimes what you've been taught to follow and believe, is maybe showing a few cracks. And maybe showing a few, which is where we look at the moon card that talked about being deceitful. Things swirling around aren't quite right. You know, when have you ever noticed how people form their opinions of stuff when they don't know the answer, they fill in the blanks? Well, this might be a day where just go with love. Don't fill in the blanks with any, why did this happen? Why did that happen? Why is she doing this? And why is she doing that? You don't need to fill in the blank. That will be filled in for you. Let's see. Fairies, fairies everywhere. Oh, I want a card today. Come along. Peace. Okay, so I've got to share something with you. Before I came on here, and before I opened all this up, and I do my little daily prayers, thank you, universe, for providing me more than I need, more than I want, and thank you for showing me the way. Thank you for showing up in all ways, in all versions of time and space. I do all of this before I sit here and come out and turn the video on. This is the card I asked for from the fairies. And I just shuffled again, and it came out for all of you. Let there be peace within your walls, within your palaces, peace within your heart, peace within your soul. For without peace, we can't hear the voice of heaven. Without peace, we can't hear the voices of angels. Without peace, we can't hear the voices of our ascended ones. So, my friends, today, as we go through this Leo moon, we go through this ending cycle, and we sort of go into our spiritual cocoon before we emerge as the butterflies that we're waiting to be. Find that peace. Whenever you come against conflict or contrasts, choose the peace. Slide it over. And, you know, there's all kinds of ways to find peace. Nature is a fabulous way. Going out to somewhere where there's an open body of water, a lake, a pond, a park. Watch geese, watch ducks. Right now, these little tiny chicks that may have hatched out in March and April, right now they're growing, getting big. They're getting their bigger feathers in. And probably the geese are starting to teach their little ones how to swim, and then teach their little ones how to flap their wings and lift up a bit so they can fly. So come autumn, in the fall, and before the winter, they're able to just take care of themselves, which I find a miracle. All right, my friends, that's it from me for today. Whatever you do, make it count. I love you. Bye for now.